Hi you guys, so today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the new line by Kerastase, which is the Discipline line. I did just wash my hair and use all the products and everything and blew it out straight. There is a whole at-home regimen with this line, and there is also an in-salon treatment that you can do as part of the Discipline line, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But first, I did want to get into each of the products from this line. So pretty much this line is all about anti-frizz, anti-humidity, having that smooth hair but still having body and movement. It seems as though a lot of the products were either just straightening or smoothing, and you really weren't completely able to get that body and fullness and the smoothness at the same time, especially not from one line. If you did, you had to use a whole bunch of products, and then that can get a little tricky, especially with fine hair, because sometimes, although products are meant not to weigh the hair down, sometimes the use of too many products can do just that. So first we're going to talk about the shampoo. It is a Bain Fluidealiste. Now they have a sulfate-free version, which is the one that I use today. Sulfate-free is really for those that have more coarse, dry, unruly hair that is also color treated or a little bit more sensitized. So because my hair is a little bit more unruly and curly and dry, and it is color treated, this was my choice. They do have one that isn't sulfate free, and that they do recommend for those, you know, with finer hair, more normal hair. The whole line has something that's called Keratine. The Keratine mimics protein, which is keratin that's found in human hair. Now the nice thing about this is if you over proteinize your hair or deposit too much protein, it actually has a reverse effect, so it ends up damaging the hair and making it more fragile instead of fixing it. With the Keratine, since it's not an actual protein, it only mimics it, you get the benefits of the reconstructing without having to worry about over-proteinization. Now the way that this technology works, it works in two ways. It works from the inside of the hair to the outside of the hair. And it replenishes any amino acids that you may lose over time, and that Keratine, which is a wheat protein derivative, restores the fibers, strengthening the hair, and it has ceramide in it, which is always good to kind of rebuild the hair and just make it strong. So pretty much from the inside, it just strengthens everything. And then for the outer layer, what it does, it almost creates like a barrier. It kind of just lays on top of the hair, which creates anti-frizz and anti-humidity. So you have the strengthening and everything from the inside, but then you have that anti-humidity and smoothness factor from the outside. Next we have the Fondant Fluidealiste. Now this is your conditioner. This is good because it's a light enough conditioner for those with fine hair or normal hair. It's light enough that you can use it every time you wash your hair. This again has the morpho-keratine in it, which is that wheat protein derivative that mimics the protein of the hair. It also has a softening agent, which of course softens the hair, and it has lipid agents. So in the hair there are lipids or fatty acids that you can lose over time, and that creates the dullness and the lack of movement. So this deposits those lipids back, softening the hair, making it more silky and more manageable. This is recommended to leave on for 2 to 3 minutes and then rinse out, which you really should be doing with any sort of conditioner. Next we have the Maskeratine. This is a travel size version. They do have a full size version. This is a little bit more of an intense conditioner, perfect for those with thick, coarse, dry hair like myself. Me personally, I do use the shampoo, conditioner, and a mask every single time. Again, this does contain that morpho-keratine in it. This is a little bit more intense than the regular conditioner, but it has pretty much everything. It has the lipids, the anti-humidity, the anti-frizz, the softening agents, but it also has optimized starch, which provides maximum anti-frizz, which makes your blow dry easier. So that's what you would use at home in the shower when you wash your hair. So now into the styling, you have 2 new products. If some of you are familiar with Kerastase, they have their Thermiques, which are thermal protectants. They now have the new Keratine Thermique. This is all about anti-frizz, anti-humidity, thermal protection, and softness and smoothness without weighing your hair down. It's so important to use a thermal protectant anytime you're putting any sort of heat onto your hair. This is also paraben free, which is great. There are no fillers or anything like that, so you get a really pure product. This you can use alone, or you can use it with the Fluidessime. This Fluidessime is also a thermal protectant. The difference is this gives you up to 72 hours of anti-humidity protection. If you are planning on using this together, I do recommend that you use the Thermique first and then follow it with the Fluidessime. So that's pretty much it for the at-home regimen. I used that in my hair today and I only blew it out. I didn't use any sort of hot tool or anything like that. And I did not use any sort of finishing product. This is strictly with that, with a blow dry, and that's it. I know it's hard for a lot of people to kind of relate if their hair isn't like mine, and they're probably like, your hair doesn't look that great. My hair is dry. No matter what I do, it's dry. That's why I do as much as I can to improve it and make it better. And a lot of the times it actually looks drier than it is. Like, my hair feels really healthy and soft. It's just naturally dry. There's nothing I can do about it to fix it. It's in my DNA. What can I tell you? If you do have hair like mine, you totally understand. If you have that perfect hair, you're so lucky. I do have a ton of shine. I have movement. I did blow it out straight, but if I were to blow it out in like a big bouncy blowout, I would be able to do that, still having that smoothness. As far as the in-salon treatment, I do not have the products with me because it's in salon, so I can't bring it home. It's pretty much a smoothing treatment. It's not something like a keratin treatment or a Brazilian treatment or a relax or anything like that. It does not have any sort of chemicals. It does not alter the shape of your hair or your curls or your waves. It does not affect that whatsoever. All it does is it smooths your hair out and reduces frizz. There are a few different steps. First, you wash your hair with either sulfate-free or the regular Bain Fluidealiste. After that, you apply a mask, not the Maskeratine. It's called the Mask Swan #1, which is pretty much a more intense version of the Maskeratine. Once you apply that, you comb it through with a fine-tooth comb to get any sort of excess out. You don't rinse, and you blow dry that mask in. After blow drying, you're going to take out the flat iron and you're gonna bring it up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're gonna take sections and pass it over just 2 times. The good thing about this is a lot of times when people do any sort of chemical treatments or straightenings or anything like that, you have to use a super high heat, like 450. You have to take fine sections and go over it like a ridiculous amount of times. With this treatment, you don't have to do that, so you reduce damage. Once you pass it over each section a couple times, you go back over to the sink, wet it down, emulsify it a little bit, then rinse completely. Next, you apply the Swan #2, which is almost like a sealing agent. It's a high intense morpho-keratine treatment that has the lipids and everything. You apply that, you massage it through, you rinse it completely, and you're done. Then you're gonna blow it out and you're gonna have a gorgeous, smooth blowout. With this treatment, I did get it done maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so it's kind of coming out. It is supposed to last up to 21 shampoos, but you do have to use their shampoo and their products from this line. That's the only thing. But that's really with anything, the only way you can almost guarantee it is by following their system. I've never done anything that alters my curls or anything like that, because as much as I complain about my curly hair, I do like it. I like having the options, so I don't want to risk changing that. But with this, since there are no chemicals and it's pretty much just an intense, super deep conditioning treatment that leaves your hair soft and silky and less frizzy. So I did it. I'm very happy with it. It is something very temporary, so it's perfect for girls like me that don't want anything too permanent. Even if it's not supposed to be permanent, anything with chemicals is gonna do something to your hair and affect it in some way. That was my experience with this line. I'm a big fan. I do like having more of like a sleek look, but I do like having like a little bit of body and everything too. So that's why I thought that it would be perfect for me. This is also meant to cut down your blow dry time, and who doesn't love that? I mean, I know I do, especially with my hair. If there's anything that I may have forgot to mention, I will leave that information down below. I hope this was helpful and informative. Please leave any questions or comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And as always, be sure to stay happy, you guys.